Hey, as soon as you think it was over, you feel me? It even gets better. Okay. I tried to leave. I tried to leave. I tried. But as I sat here, I ran across this. And I said, "What the heck, bro?" I said, "No." I said, I can't leave. I can't walk away." I said, "You feel me?" I see this video of Jack Harlow saying he basically got blacker, blacker. Like what are you saying, Todd? What are you saying, bro? Like what is going on, man? I'm telling you, like this. Oh my god, I don't know what to say. If you tuned in, make sure you like the video. Subscribe if you ain't subscribed. As we just tap into these things, and yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Well, let's hear people on TikTok talk about this. Let's hear people on TikTok talk about this right here, because this right here just kind of I ain't gonna hold you. It threw me off. It threw me off. It just kind of, it didn't throw me off because this is what it is. This is what it is. But let's dive into it so y'all can hear what he said, and I can see how y'all feel about it. That's what I really want to know. How you feel? Like, sub up, and let's go.
So junkie. I love the Jill Scotts of the world, the Erica Badu's, whatever you want to call that genre. That ain't it, bro.
Yeah, that's
That ain't it. It just
a couple songs I heard I didn't love.
Let me tell you something. I like Jack Harlow. I've met Jack Harlow. We've interviewed Jack Harlow. Jack is a nice guy. But I told y'all on Friday that this album made him whiter. And saying the music made you blacker is exactly why I said this album made him whiter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's something only you got to be really white to say that this music made you blacker.
And I know there are some people that are like, well, at least he, as a white artist, even if he's joking, he admitted but he's made songs about his music.
He's very sarcastic when he talks.
You know what I mean? Like he knows what he's doing a little bit. But what I didn't appreciate, and I watched the full conversation, and I like his music, but what I didn't appreciate was I just feel like I feel like me as a person that gets on the outlet every day, certain things and certain races and all that, it's certain things you got to tiptoe around, or like you can't say, or you just know that there's going to be some backlash about. I felt like he was a little bit too free. Like he's around a bit too much. He's a little bit too comfortable to say some of the things. Like he should have felt a little bit more it was cringe to watch. It was
it was sarcasm and it was funny, but sometimes you swing and you miss with sarcasm. I do it all the time. Okay, yeah. I mean, you know what I mean.
But he's very sarcastic. He has a lot of sarcasm when you see the interviews that he's done on the Breakfast Club, or you see him on the red carpets. He's very sarcastic when it comes to this stuff. So with him, you got to take things with a grain of salt.
But once again, as I said, that album made him whiter.
Grain of salt to white.
That album made him whiter. Okay, and saying that the music made you black is exactly
Even
why
that,
it made you whiter. And I don't like that whole conversation.
Even that, how could it make you whiter? You're white. Like, what you mean whiter? It's like the same him saying blacker.
What John's saying is
What is your question?
You didn't retreat. I'll piggyback off what John's saying. John's saying you didn't retreat into a whiter genre. In fact, you arguably went deeper into.
I got blacker.
Black music.
Yeah.
Deeper into black. Yeah. So was that conscious? Wow. Was that a little twist on the typical move that white rappers make, which is to retreat back into traditionally white sounds?
It certainly made what I already wanted to do even more appealing. Absolutely.
Because you like pushing that boundary, that line?
I think I love black music. I love the sound of black
Who
music.
among us?
Yeah, I love the sound of black music.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm hyper aware of the politics of today, that safer landing spot that a lot of my white contemporaries have found. And of course, it appealed to me to do something that I felt like at a time when there's plenty of people expecting me to take some of the routes y'all are taking.
Yep.
To take the route that not only might not be expected, but is also the one I genuinely want to take. So all the stars aligned in that way for me, to be honest. I'm not going to pretend like what you're talking about. I was like, I guess you're right. I knew that there were multiple things appealing about this route, but I also came to the decision, I'm proud to say, off of what feels good in my ear. I love R&B music. I love the sound of soft, intimate, melodic music.
What John's saying is
And invitations to the cookout have been suspended indefinitely. Jack Harlow recently said,
I got black music. I got black.
The first comment says, if everybody wants to be black, who gonna be the white people? Because Jack Harlow went down to the beauty supply store and picked up a 1996 Neo hat, the 2005 B2K glasses, and dropped an album called Monica. Now, some people are saying in the clip I just played, he was admiring black culture and art, and that he just wanted to make an R&B album. But I do understand why people are skeptical, though, and are talking about cultural appropriation, because it does seem like there are white artists who go through a blackness phase. You remember Black Ariana Grande?
I'm like, bitch, that's my cookie. That's my juice, okay? Carry on.
Wow.
Thank you, next.
Miley Cyrus notoriously had a black phase, and then she went right on back to country. So the reason people are saying it's a black phase is because they'll come out, do hip hop, and then they'll drop that little black scent that they have and go back to whatever genre of music they were doing before, country, pop, whatever. So it can definitely feel like they were just trying on or auditioning blackness, if you will. But ultimately, as an artist, I do think it's more than okay to experiment with genres. But saying my music got blacker, of course, everyone's going to come online to get their jokes off. But yeah, somebody will have to tell me if this album is good. I'm not gonna hold you. I really do enjoy neo soul music. And that reminds me, whoever called Jack Harlow Neo Snowchild, you're hilarious. You need a comedy special and you need one now. So let me know when y'all start playing the album. I might give it a little stream. I'm curious as to whether the music is good or not. So I think by that metric, I guess the promo did its job. Next case.
Jack Harlow sat up here and released an album called Monica.
I think my biggest issue with Jenny White over here is not that he actually made an album inspired by the Soulquarians and neo soul.
And see, I was iffy about him when he was talking about whips and chains. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really like that too much and being vanilla. But now he put on a pair of the beef and broccolis and he walking around talking about he got blacker.
I got black.
Jack Harlow saying that he got blacker after making his dog shit R&B album just proves everything I've been saying about white rappers this entire time. These people exist to commodify our culture and turn it from something that's inherently subversive and radical to something that's sterile and marketable.
So let me get this straight.
Where the money at?
Jack Harlow puts on a turtleneck, a leather jacket, and that little music soul child hat and claimed that he got blacker. What the fuck is going on in 2026? Like, is everybody losing their fucking mind? Like, why are you inviting?
Jack Harlow sat up here.
So I just got off the phone to Jack here, and I'm a firm believer in if you have a white partner or white friends, it's your responsibility as the black person to explain to them when they do something wrong or to educate them. Just for some context,
white rappers are afforded more freedom to change their genre. True or false?
I might have to think about that.
That comment, I told him he did not need to think about that. As a white boy who is around the culture and is basically vulturing off the culture, he needs to do better than this. And I told him, and he kind of accepted that.
John's saying you didn't retreat into a whiter genre. In fact, you arguably went deeper into
I got blacker.
black music.
Yeah.
Deeper.
Now that one, I said to him, I was angry at him. I said, yo, that is crazy. To say in a room full of white people that you've gotten blacker as a white man is absolutely mad. Do you know what black Americans have gone through to rise up the music that you are now vulturing of? And you went and said that. And he was trying to explain to me how much he loves black music, this, that. And then I said, okay, if you do love black music, then that's not the way you answer that question. And I need my black Americans to correct me if I'm wrong. He should have just said, black artists are just so talented and I love being around them. Their energy is amazing. They paved the way for so many different genres, from basically a lot of the genres within music. That's what he should have said. All of That's what he should have. He shouldn't have said, I got blacker. In a world where within our community, black people, we're arguing about who's blacker.
And in addition to the fact that Jack Harlow's being absolutely ridiculous by saying he got blacker with his new album, aside from that, girl, you need to step your game up. Why was your album only 27 minutes and 47 seconds? It's a no wonder you're running around saying you got blacker, because see, you claim that you understand how sensitive things are right now, and you claim that you understand the way things are going and the way that people have to move right now. So for you to say that you got blacker was an intentional move, is what it seems like. And it seems like you're doing that just because you need your name stirred up. Maybe you wouldn't have to do that if you would make albums that were longer than 27 minutes and 47 seconds. a 9-track album, which includes one of them being a 54-second interlude. Where is the material? Where is the art? Where is the content? You just worry about making albums with a little bit of sustenance. That's what you need to worry about. And in addition to...
I think my biggest issue with Jenny White over here is not that he actually made an album inspired by the Soulquarians and Neo Soul, but that he actually didn't answer the question at hand, which was, does he agree that white rappers have the freedom to switch genres at will? Because we all know the answer is yes, but it's very obvious and convenient that he just skipped.
Because like we seen black rappers like go to doing country music, and they get a whole lot of heat just from that. Like, because they going, oh, I'm gonna do country, or I'm gonna do rock, or I'm gonna do, you know, they get a lot of flack from that, but they can just switch up whenever they get ready.
That part. And partly to blame on the two journalists asking questions, because it felt like they were just stumbling over each other to try to move past that question initially quickly. But I think if you're a white artist trying to intentionally make black music and say that you got blacker, that was the perfect moment to double back and actually confirm that that is the truth and that you actually recognize your privilege to be able to.
Because remember, what's the one dude, the one gay dude that did the country song? I forgot. And they didn't, everybody, like the white people was like, the country people was like, that's not country music. And they was going off on him. And Miley Cyrus' dad, or the one Cyrus dude, had to get on the song with him or something like that. I keep on forgetting that black dude name. But yeah, like I even forgot the dang song, but the song was dope as hell. But they was talking mess. And it's like, now Billy Ray Cyrus got to come get on the song with you to get their stamp of approval.
Do such a thing. And I'm not saying that you have to dislike Monica because it was made by a white man. If you like it, great. That's for you, I guess. But what I am saying is that Jack Harlow sits in this very interesting space where he can sit in these interviews and have the perfect amount of ignorance as to what his privilege actually does for him and what doors that privilege will open up for him, while also acknowledging that he's deeply and heavily inspired by black music. And the way that he's able to kind of dance around the true issue is why I don't think he's necessarily ill-intentioned. Why I think Music Stole Child could never...
The one with the country, the horse song. You feel me? Like and you did it with the deep voice. The young dude, the young black dude. I know who Shabuzi is. It's not him. I keep forgetting he gay, the gay guy. You feel me? He be doing the videos and be having breasts and stuff like that. Just kind of trolling. Nas X. Yeah, Lil Nas X. Yeah, Lil Nas X.
Be the type of white rapper that's like a Mac Miller or an Eminem or Mac Ayers. Proactively walks the walk and talks the talk. Because in order to be able to do that kind of multifaceted thing, you've got to understand that, one, you are inevitably going to be ignorant to some things. Two, that you're going to be willing to listen when people correct you. Three, actually weaponize the privilege that you have in order to uplift black creators who don't.
And remember, Jack Harlow, they remade White Man Can't Jump. So,
have the same level of platform. I've seen Jack Harlow collaborate with a bunch of different rappers and a bunch of different black people, but most of which already have a bigger platform than he does. To me, lending yourself to something as simple as that would better show me that you want to be an ally than putting on a Kangol, dressing like Most Definitely Not, and making a neo soul album. Which, by the way, stop calling it that, because to be a neo soul album, it would need to be able to speak to the black experience. Last I checked, Ghostface Vanilla is not doing any of that. I think my biggest...
Yeah, I got blacker. What? I got blacker. Okay, Andrew 3000. No, you didn't. I did. But you're vanilla, baby. But I did. Brother, there's only one Bobby Caldwell, and you ain't it. But, hey, Jay, he said he got blacker. Okay, frat boys to men. Whitney Houston, Stevie Wonder Bread. Okay. Liam Vandross. MC White. Hey, you know Gucci Mane? Obvious. Vineyard Vines Mane. Old Dirty Alabaster. Hey, Big Mike. Yeah? He said he got blacker. Okay, LL Bean J. I'm just Kenneth Lamar. Richard Ross. You know, I watched part of it. A literal Q-tip. Yeah. I got.
And see, I was iffy about him when he was talking about whips and chains. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really like that too much and being vanilla. But now he put on a pair of the beef and broccolis and he walking around talking about he got blacker. Is you cool? I blame y'all. See, I blame y'all because y'all be making people feel too comfortable.
piggyback off what John's saying. John's saying you didn't retreat into a whiter genre. In fact, you arguably went into deeper in.
And see, this is what happens when everybody think that they invited to the cookout. Because I'm confused. You sitting in a room full of white men and y'all think that y'all are qualified to say what is blacker or deeper into the black culture? Is you cool? Now I want him to sit in a room full of black people, do an interview and say with his whole chest and that grin on his face that he got blacker. That's what I need. I need you to go into a space where you know you can't say nothing like that and say it out loud. Please. I really don't understand why y'all can't just appreciate instead of appropriating. Like, you can appreciate and not appropriate or disrespect. And see,
I could understand why maybe he would want to maybe try another genre of music, but for him to stand 10 toes down into hip hop, I do appreciate that. But I don't think he needs to say he just has an affinity for black music and he just wants to be blacker. I feel like you could have worded that better, because now you just sound like, you might have not moved like them, but now you just sound like a Post Malone. You just sound like a person who is here for a reason, and that reason is money. And I know Jack Harlow is able to put out quality music. And when he did a lot of pre-releases for this project too, a lot of little kind of like setup discussions. And one of those, he was talking about a lot of his favorite R&B singers, Brandy, Monica. So I kind of had an idea that this was going to be maybe a little bit more melodic, especially when he comes from that melodic hip hop camp. Right. But like you're saying, if you're telling me this is your blackest album yet, but then I got to listen to a black person say this was unseasoned last season. I just really need to know who is in your corner, because based off of how you're speaking, I can probably put two and two together and figure out who's in your corner. And yeah, that music probably is a little unseasoned. Not to say his country music would have been even more seasoned, but that ain't our business. So I don't know.
What John's saying is you didn't.
What is your question?
You didn't retreat. I'll piggyback off what John's saying. John's saying you didn't retreat into a whiter genre. In fact, you arguably went deeper into
black
music.
Yeah.
Deeper into black.
Yeah.
So was that conscious? Was that a little twist on the typical move that white rappers make, which is to retreat back into traditionally white sounds?
It certainly made what I already wanted to do even more appealing. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because you like pushing that boundary, that line?
I think I love black music. I love the sound of black
Who
music.
among us?
Yeah, I love the sound of black music.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm hyper aware of the politics of today, that safer landing spot that a lot of my white contemporaries have found. And of course, it appealed to me to do something that I felt like at a time when there's plenty of people expecting me to take some of the routes y'all are taking.
Yep.
To take the route that not only might not be expected, but is also the one I genuinely want to take. So
what John's saying is you deeper into.
I got blacker.
Ladies and gentlemen, you ever hear somebody say something and you don't really know what to think. Jack Harlow said that he got blacker while working on this album. Like, he leaned more into black music. Jack.
I can't take bro serious. He hilarious.
I don't even know. I don't know. When people say stuff like that, it don't. You know how you like, I don't know. Cause do we say that? In certain parts, you know what I mean? Like, you never hear a black country singer say, I got much whiter on this album right here. I leaned into white culture on this one. I got, oh yeah. You think the last couple of albums was white? Hey, this one here, this one's clear. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this whole album smells like high yielding interest. Bet your bottom dollar, buddy.
I'm saying you didn't retreat into a whiter genre. In fact, you arguably went deeper into
I got blacker.
black music.
Yeah.
Deeper into black. So,
Well, I wouldn't say that you got blacker, babe, because black is a race and you're still very clearly white. We can see you with our two eyes. And I would even argue that saying that you got blacker because you delved deeper into rap music or certain aspects of black culture is one, reductive, and two, perpetuating stereotypes, because black people, we are not monolithic. I am a black person who grew up listening to and performing Evanescence, Paramore, and late night alumni. Does that make me more white? No, it does not. I think a better way of expressing this, if anybody's watching this of some importance, please hire me for your PR team, would have been I further immersed myself in the culture, and that is reflected in the art and the work that I do today. That would have been more digestible and understanding for the demographic of people who are likely going to buy this album. That being said, I don't categorize Jack Harlow in the same culture vulture box as I do like a Post Malone, because the White Iverson to being featured on a song with racist ass Morgan Wallen Pipeline is diabolical. But I am very critical of the system that allows white artists to quote unquote experiment with their sound and be recognized and appreciated in that. But black artists are oftentimes subjected or confined to the R&B and rap category regardless of their sound. We saw this happen with Pink in her first album being R&B and her essentially mix fishing and her music being displayed in like historical black films, even though she says that all of that was against her will. We saw it happen with Justin Timberlake and the straight back braids. We saw it happen with Miley Cyrus and the "We Can't Stop" bullshit era. But then we have people like SZA, who has actually spoken out about this topic several times. She quite clearly makes pop music, but is never recognized in that genre unless she's doing like a duet or a group performance due to one-sided exclusionary practices. There is a very clear disparity there, and this line of questioning actually set Jack Harlow up perfectly to point out said disparity if he actually cared about Black people, our culture, and our music. Furthermore, a lot of people are taking issue with the title of the album. The album's name is Monica, M-O-N-I-C-A. A lot of people are saying that it's a homonym for the phrase my N-word. I'm not necessarily sold there. I took it as it was just the name of a person that he may have found to be like exceptionally beautiful in his past. Like the song with Kendrick Lamar where he'd be like, "Is that you with them big old thighs after school? With them 3 kids and 3 baby daddies in that car? No, that's overdue." That makes more logical sense to me, y'all. I definitely think that Jack Harlow is tone deaf. I don't think that he's that far gone. I could be wrong though, y'all. Moral of the story is I think that there's a fine line between appreciation and appropriation. And Jack Harlow has been towing that line for years now. And this just kind of pushed him over into the appropriation side. Because being Black
ain't nothing
is not an aesthetic or a twang that you put on for your little rap songs. We're whole human beings with an extensive culture that dates back centuries, cross seas, and clearly everybody just wants their pickings.
It's crazy because like back in the days when it used to happen, like when you had your third base, you had your Beastie Boys, like it was cool because like when you think of third base, well, third base did kind of act like Beastie Boys. They didn't. They used to rap, but they didn't like have act black. They didn't walk around with with the black code. They were white. They even sounded white, like white rappers. It's not like that no more.
I got blacker.
Black music.
Yeah.
Deeper into black.
Every time
so
I hear it, it's like, why would you say that?
Was that conscious? Was that a little twist on the typical move that white rappers make, which is to retreat back into traditionally white sounds?
It certainly made what I already wanted to do even more appealing. Absolutely.
Because you like pushing that boundary, that line?
I think I love black music. I love the sound of black
Who
music.
among us?
Yeah, I love the sound of black music.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm hyper aware of the politics of today, that safer landing spot that a lot of my white contemporaries have found. I got blacker.
Jack Harlow is catching heat on social media for saying that he got blacker while creating his new R&B album, Monica.
Bro, look how they got him though with figure waves.
I have been sitting with that.
Jack Harlow is catching heat on social media for saying that he got blacker while creating his new R&B album, Monica. I know what Monica means. I forgot what TV show or movie, Come on now. I'm just surprised the man hasn't went and done some country songs just yet. But for him to say he's getting blacker while he's doing R&B is beyond me. Well, I guess he didn't pull a Post Malone and just drop hip hop and R&B all at once and just go straight to, rock and country. But still, we just got to stop giving out invites to the cookout. Because, even Eminem wouldn't do no shit like this. Come on now. Jack Harlow is good.
Yeah. I have been sitting with that Jack Harlow interview on, I think it's NPR, where he said, I got blacker, because it is honestly so upsetting to me as a racially unambiguous Black person. This idea that you can just use Blackness as an object to make yourself better. How is this any different than slavery? You profiting off of the unpaid labor of indigenous Africans in order for your white family to flourish. It's no different. And the fact that this happens across the board, in particular in the music industry, from Miley Cyrus to even Taylor Swift to Christina Aguilera, no shade, Ariana Grande, like the list goes on and on and on. Eminem, I am so tired of the objectification of Blackness. Like, y'all should really, truly be ashamed of yourselves.
Like, we should know, bro. Like they say, we ain't got no culture, right? But everybody copying it.
It's truly dystopian.
We ain't got none.
Because I remember a time, the time still exists, by the way, where people did not want to be Black. Even Black people. I would brush my little baby hairs down right here and say that I'm mixed with Indian on a regular basis. It has taken a great deal of labor to honor that I am Black mixed with Black. And that is phenomenal. And the fact that people just think that they could just grab on to Blackness whenever it feels worth it to them, whenever they are going to be able to profit. Meanwhile, Black people's material needs are not fucking met.
I know, like when you think about it, right? Some people, they you'll hear that phrase, some people you're acting too Black. But he can come out and say he got blacker, but as a Black person, they'll tell us we're acting Black or we're acting too Black. And it's wait, what?
While Black people are over here struggling, some of the most incredible artists, amazing singers, y'all do not know them. Y'all don't know them. You don't know them. It's only when it's a white person singing in a way that Black people sing that's oh, I love it. I love this. This is so great. She's so amazing. Zara Larson, whatever her fucking name is. What? Another white person. Oh, she be singing down. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Frankie Beverly. And that's some
Say that again.
That's some homework for y'all. How many
this outfit
Grammys did Frankie Beverly amazing?
Ooh.
I want y'all to go look that up. I want you to look up the number of Black composers. Okay. And for what? Which films? One for Best Original Score. Back to your point about the white person, whatever, white rapper, unambiguous white rapper, just a generic milquetoast version.
We the only dudes that you see that actually wear socks with flip-flops. All the way sideways off the conversation. We the only Black dudes. This right here. I ain't talking about them sweatpants, pulled up over the t-shirt like that. But Black dudes is the only ones you see that'll come out and have on some flip-flops with socks on. We the only ones. We started that right there. That's another thing we started right there.
The proxy of a white person who's voyeuristic and lives off of and vampirizes off of Black culture.
Yes.
A la sinners. I even say this, and the mixed people will actually appreciate this. The mixed Black and the light skins or whatever will appreciate this. Even Black people and with a Black parent, some even monoracial with two Black parents, are told they are not Black enough because of X, Y, and Z characteristics. But anytime a white bitch is talking about, I'm blacker, I love black people, I'm just black, I'm fully black now, y'all cake for them. But a redhead, freckle face, all knowing your cousin and other people we know in our life, all over the country, all over the world, we got black, especially across the Black America, we got all type of mixed black people, or just black people with 2 black parents, 2 black grandparents, who come out redheaded with freckles and all type of shit and light skin.
Exactly. That's why, like, I hate that. Like I hate when people try to criticize me on the way I talk. Like, you feel me? Like, I'm not white. I'm black. Okay. I've been talking like this all my life. Like, I never wanted to talk like in that proper way that people think is proper, because they told you it was proper. Bro, I said, man, we so brainwashed. We'll hate on each other and not even know we hating on each other, because we trying to get each other to follow the ways that they think that we should be. And then they take how this talk right here, they'll take it themselves, just like our rap music. They'll say, oh, it's it's grimy, it's dirty, it's talking about women. But then when they have a rapper that come out and they do it and they good at it, it's like, oh man, they cold. Like Eminem, the best rapper. You feel me? And all this, you feel me? But when we do it, it's like, bro, come on now. I'm so tired of that. I'm tired of that.
And y'all come into question they blackness all the time. So even a black motherfucker can't be black. But a white man, it's all good. Right? We making a movie about set in the Mississippi Delta, featuring some semblance or simulation of what he thought Mississippi Delta blues was, but not really. Y'all didn't think, oh, there might be a black person in the Mississippi Delta who arranges and composes music. Maybe this would be a great opportunity for one of those musicians to possibly do the score for a movie about Mississippi Delta fucking blues. What are we missing? What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing
something. You're just supposed to support because they've been friends since college.
I don't give a fuck if he came out that nigga motherfucking nutsack, blood. I don't give a fuck if they was with each other since birth. I don't care if they was twins. I don't give a fuck if he literally saved him from a burning motherfucking building. Any white person I have in my life know not to come barking up my tree when it comes to anything to do with blackness. I'm not even gonna ask if you be a part of nothing that nigga doing that say black homie. That even got something to do with blackness. I'm already knowing. I can ask.
They must be from Oakland.
What else is he doing? But they know not to bark up my tree because they know who I am. Y'all be around these white people being a different person to be in relationship with him. And a lot of y'all in the Bay Area do it.
I knew they was from the Bay. I knew they was from the Bay. See, I'm gonna tell you something, right? People in California, like we from Cali. This is one thing we know. From the way that we talk, you can tell by how people talk what area of California they from. When he said blood, I didn't look at it as gangbanging. I said, oh, he got to be from the Bay. Because that's a word that they use out there, and they don't use it as a gangbanging terminology. They use it as like saying brother or saying the N-word, like period. So I knew they was from the Bay, bro. I knew it. I could tell by the way they talk. Bay Area.
Because I'm from the town and I can talk to you niggas about it because I know about it and I've been about it.
Yeah, man.
Where are you from, babe? Where are you from?
I'm from the East. I'm from the deep East, matter of fact, and I'm certified and I'm verified, so you can really ask me offline. They know. They know not to bark at my tree. It's been that way since 1990, May 22nd, 1990.
Little baby.
Yeah, we know our people.
It's
real,
eerie.
man.
It's
eerie.
It's dystopian.
Yes.
It's eerie. It's happening.
Look, I live in Dago, but I ain't from Dago.
The state apparatus of the military
is
ramping up its operations. It's ramping up neocolonialism all over the world, targeting non-white peoples. That Frank B. Wilderson, my partner Isaiah, a great scholar Isaiah.
That's him talking with his girl, man.
It's like the radical twist.
Some of us just sound like that.
I have been sitting with that.
It's like the radical.
I have been sitting with that Jack Harlow.
22nd, 1990.
Little baby.
It's eerie. It's
eerie.
It's dystopian.
Yes.
It's eerie. It's happening around the time where the state apparatus of the military is ramping up its operations. It's ramping up neocolonialism all over the world, targeting non-white people that Frank B. Wilderson, my partner Isaiah, great scholar Isaiah Blake, he was talking to me one day and he was talking to me about something Frank B. Wilderson said about Black people's pain and suffering. We're not worthy of our suffering or deserving of it. It either doesn't exist, it's denied, and I think it's intentional that people deny that there could be a genocide or is and has been an ongoing genocide against Black Americans in particular. And the way that, and the reason for that is so that you can continue to extrapolate, exploit, and extract our labor without having to care about the consequences of such. You don't have to care about the kids that's dying. You don't have to care about the burden of people that's dying in childbirth. You don't have to care about the people in the hood that's getting killed. You don't have to care about the political.
He got a lot of information in that tank too. There's a teaspoon of sugar in there probably, but I don't know. But he got a whole cup of game though.
Prisoners just sitting up here, right? You don't have to care about any of that. You don't even have to advocate for reparations. You can just pontificate and wax philosophical about dumb shit on a podcast, on a white cis man podcast, jaw-jacking, selling wolf tickets all day long about how you like the name Monica and Adrian. You love and like Black people so much, but you don't advocate for reparations at all.
Man.
That goes for leftist white people, agnostic, neutral, just regular white people, and the right. Y'all all share that in common. You get so up in arms about, we need universal health care, we need all these, so vociferous around all these other issues. But why is reparations for Black people, for those same socio-political grievances that y'all are so vociferous about, why don't y'all talk about that?
I haven't. You know why? That's why he gamed up.
I'll piggyback off what John's saying. John's saying you didn't retreat into a whiter genre. In fact, you arguably went deeper into.
I got blacker.
Black music.
Yeah.
Deeper into black music. So, was that conscious? Was that a little twist on the typical move that white rappers make, which is to retreat back into traditionally white sounds?
It certainly made what I already wanted to do even more.
Well, I hope y'all happy now.
Yeah, that boy with dreadlocks.
I hope y'all are happy. And before I start, I like to say that I'm a Black man, obvious, and I'm a person that is a part of the Black community, obvious. If you watch my content, you would know that. But with this, I just have to say, I hope y'all are happy. Jack Harlow says that he got blacker on his new album, Monica. You see, stuff like this happens when you do stuff like the way that I see that other Black people online are doing stuff. Every single time that a white person does anything that's stereotypical, whether it's negative or positive, of a Black person, y'all want to invite them to the cookout, so to speak. Y'all want them to be embraced by the Black community. Y'all want them to be held in high regards in the black community.
This cookout thing be having me dying laughing though.
Just because they do something that's stereotypical of the Black community. Now, for me, if you watch my content, you know I have no issue with white people. But I do have an issue with racist white people.
Hey, we do too. And you taking too long. My bad, y'all. He going too slow for me.
I really do love this house, man, but I feel like something's missing. I know exactly what you need. That's better. Yeah, I'll take it. Man, what's going on? Surprise! Oh, happy birthday! Hey, come on, man. Now y'all know which version I like. Come on, bro. Happy birthday to you. Hey, happy birthday. You talking about Stevie? Yeah. The kitchen closed. I do like these headphones though. Y'all got layaway? I really do love this house, man, but I feel like something
getting blacker.
Yeah, Jack Harlow is definitely playing in our face with this whole album rollout, and something about this Monica album is not sitting right with me at all. Right? And the reason I notice it is someone who's worked in PR and music album campaigns for years. When I hear a white artist promoting an R&B project, saying things like my music got blacker, I immediately stop and I start paying attention to the rollout in its entirety with a side eye. Because once you understand how album campaigns are built, you realize one thing: nothing in a rollout is accidental at all, right? And that's why I'm saying this whole Jack Harlow thing and him in its entirety is playing in our face with this rollout. You know, when it comes to rollouts, you know, the album cover is intentionally selected, right? The album title is intentionally crafted. Even the messaging of how an artist communicates an album's creative or musical purpose.
This is what I be saying about us, though. We raw because you can't slide nothing past us these days. It might get past a couple of us, but it's gonna be somebody gonna point it out and be like, "Man, you know where that Monica shit come from? It come from right here," and we gonna be like, "I didn't even think about that." It's like, bro,
how they or why they created it is very intentional, right? Right.
Exactly what they.
I mean, even the outlets that artists choose to interview from, like Vibe, Complex, to break the album, is very intentional. It's the same way a brand designs commercials or items to make you feel a certain way to get you to buy it, right? With certain colors, certain images, certain languages to attract a specific audience to sell or buy a product, right? So what we have to understand is that every single piece is designed to position an artist in a very specific space, right? So looking at this album within the titles, like look at the visuals, look at the album cover for a second, right? The wardrobe, the hat, I mean, even the glasses, right? The muted tones, all of this really plays a part in this too, because everything about it to me leans heavily into a neo-soul black R&B aesthetic, right? To me, it looks like some visuals you expect from like an artist that's rooted in like classic R&B, more so neo-soul, right? Very music soul child, Raheem Devon, Dwele, circa 2003, 2005, right? And then I look at the album title Monica within its entirety. Like that name is not random at all, and it was very strategic the way he chose it. You know, to me, as we all know, Monica is one of the most iconic voices in the 90s R&B, right? So naming the project Monica immediately to me taps into a black R&B nostalgia and a cultural memory, because nostalgia, as we know right now, is big with music and the culture. So anything that brings back memory, people want to buy it or they want to support it. So that was.
Remember, I was saying this. I said this like days ago, weeks ago, months ago, years ago. This is why they keep on rebranding the same thing, because the vibration, if even the music of even what the song is called, you feel me? Like back in the days, we was banging Monica way back then. You feel me? Like it's that time. It's what? Wait, I forgot. I keep on forgetting the song because like my brain got clouded right there. But they using that same vibration, bro, and they just they repackaging it and selling it back to us all over again. The same shit all over and over. And this is why we'll get attracted to it because of that.
It's a no-brainer, right? And from a branding standpoint, to me, it was also strategic, but it was extremely calculated. And here's why, right? Here's the thing. Male R&B artists, as we all know, have historically centered women within their music, right? Love, heartbreak, devotion. So to me, him using the name Monica signals that the project is rooted in the same tradition, one would think, right? It positions the album squarely in this whole R&B-esque based lane. But there's another layer that's causing some online frustration, to his point, and people have pointed out, right? And it's causing controversy and leads into why Jack Harlow and his team, to me, is completely tone deaf, right? Because when you say the name out loud, right, Monica, some listeners say the way it rolls off the tongue sounds like a phrase, my nigga, like Monica, my nigga. You know, it used in our or black culture, right? And to me, whether it's intentional or not, I'm not here to debate it. It does spark a conversation, but overall, it is very tone deaf. So to me, what it's showing to me is that this rollout.
He just said it in the beginning that the PR and whoever they create all of it before, they already know what it means. They know exactly what it means. That's why they made it like that.
I was thriving on conversation, but much more so in artists fitting in certain spaces people may not organic.
But look, listen to the demographics of it, because Monica is gonna be the feminine energy. My nigga is gonna be the masculine energy. So it's like it's a hermaphrodite. Basically, that's what the album is. It's a hermaphrodite that's pulling in both sides of the energy. You feel me? I'm just saying. I don't mean to be conscious about this, but
they think they belong in, and we've seen that before.
That's kind of a genius.
But the difference in one artist is using artistry to make a statement, while one now is being accused of cosplaying the culture, right? Or cosplaying Black American culture. And here's a bigger issue, right? In interviews promoting this project, Jack Harlow has said that his music has gotten blacker, and that's tone deaf because you're a white artist. What do you know about your music getting blacker? And now think about that, right? You are a white artist entering a space deeply rooted in Black music culture, R&B, soul, neo-soul. And the way, he describes the evolution of his music or this project to me is by saying your music got blacker. Ultimately, that makes people pause. It made me pause because who is approving or saying that this is okay for him to say? Because to me, it frames Blackness like an aesthetic you can just adopt instead of acknowledging the culture that built the entire genre, right? And here's the part,
the crazy thing about it, I think when they go on these interviews too, they already know what questions they're going to be asked and they already know what they're going to say. It's already pre-programmed to be what it is. They knew what they were doing. Like it was already written.
That really stood out to me the most in a very questionable way, right? If this is truly an R&B project, right, the media strategy should reflect that, right? Your outlets should reflect that this is an R&B based project. You would expect interviews with like outlets that actively live in that space, right? If he was promoting an R&B project, you have outlets like Rated R&B, Soul Bounce, I Got Soul, so many different publications that have been covering R&B artists and neo-soul artists and Black music culture for years, but he didn't. And that's what's really happening right here to me. That's the most questionable part because you're promoting an R&B project, but you're not highlighting or working with R&B outlets to promote that said project. Instead, the rollout borrows the aesthetic of Black R&B culture while avoiding the media ecosystem that would likely challenge that positioning, right? Because to me, I feel like if he were to go with those outlets would ask the real questions about this music, this influence, and the culture behind it. And it's a threat to me to this rollout, because it would challenge his authenticity. It's probably why him and his team probably didn't position him to do those. And another thing, if this is supposed to be an R&B project, you would normally see like legacy voices from that space involved. We don't see any male or female legacy R&B acts on this album. And those are things that make you go, Hell, the album's named Monica, and she ain't even on the album, right? So what you're left with now is a campaign that borrows the aesthetic of Black R&B culture and it now questions him and this entire campaign while avoiding the voices that actually define it. And that's exactly to me why people are looking at this rollout sideways, because today audiences aren't just watching the rollout, they're studying them and they're questioning his motives. Yeah,
exactly. You didn't retreat into a whiter genre. In fact, you arguably went deeper into black music. Deeper in.
Jack Harlow, man. So Jack Harlow dropped an album called Monica, and it's under the R&B soul category. So that's what they're discussing in this interview clip, how he didn't do the Post Malone and switch over to country or rock music, and he decided to make an R&B album, which is a bit more niche in the Black music genre space, right? And he's like, yeah, I didn't do what they did. I actually got blacker. And it's a room with 3 white men in it. And you're talking about how you got blacker, Jack. We have to nip this in the bud. That is very tone deaf. Like, come on. Shut up, man. That's a crazy statement to make, right? And it's not what he was trying to get across, but it is very tone deaf, bro. Like, Jesus, man. Anyways, the album itself, like I listened to it, it's the production is good. The songs aren't horrible. Like they're not the worst things I've ever heard. But I feel like I won't see myself going back to this album, to be honest with you. But at least he's not doing what Post Malone did. You feel me? I respect people like Mac Miller. I respect people like Eminem. I respect people like Alchemist. White people who come into this space, and there's never really any real controversy with them and their love for hip hop, and they outwardly show that, and they're themselves. They're not trying to pretend or behave like they're Black or anything like that. They're just themselves within the culture, and when they speak, you can hear the love and admiration that they do have for the culture, and they just make their music. I'm not with all that inviting people to the cookout, but there's certain people, when they open their mouths, they say things, and it makes you look at them like,
This is why I don't care about inviting people to the cookout and shit. You feel me? Because you put your foot in your own mouth when you say
exactly. You said, is it? How come the mashed potatoes don't have? How come the potato salad don't have mustard and raisins in it? Like, looking, you like, wait.
You feel me? Like all that cosplaying black culture, but you didn't know who Brandy was. You feel me? And then now you got a black girlfriend and you heard R&B for the first time, and it makes you want to make your version of a neo soul album. That makes me side eye you, Jack. And I think Jack Harlow's a pretty funny dude, and I think that comment was made in jest. But you got to know how things are going to be received when you say them, especially when it's nothing but white people in the room, and one of those white people are talking about how they got black. How do you guys feel about this? Let me know in the comments. Till next time, I'm out of here. Make sure you...
White rappers are afforded more freedom to change their genre. True or false?
I might have to think about that.
I'd like to hear your answer to Joe's question, but also then talk about what I feel is like the radical twist of what you have chosen.
Well, I'll piggyback off what John's saying. John's saying you didn't retreat into a whiter genre. In fact, you arguably went deeper into
I got blacker.
Black music.
Yeah.
Deeper into blackness. Yeah. So was that conscious? Was that
crazy?
Are afforded more freedom to change their genre? True or false?
I might have to think about that.
I'd like to hear your answer to Joe's question, but also
he just did it. You gotta think.
Jack Harlow just released his new album. It's entitled FBAC, Foundational Black American Cracker. In this album, he explores everything from Jim Crow to the war on drugs. The first single off the album is entitled The Blacker the Berry, the Sweeter the Wigger, in which he entails what it's like to be an acceptable white inside of the black community. Really insightful. One of my favorite tracks on the album, not invited to the cookout, but I can still pull up, is really a reflective piece as he reflects on his time as a white artist in black genres. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but Jack Harlow's also been growing out his hair. So part of the rollout for this album is he's going to actually be collaborating with Shea Moisture for a very special, like, limited edition drop. If you purchase his album off his website, you'll actually get a limited edition Afro pick. I think my favorite part so far are the collaborations. We got Pastor Troy, CeeLo Green and the entire Dungeon family, Dionne Warwick, India Arie. Then, of course, we got the last song on the album, which is a collaboration with Paul Wall, which is called Black Effect. Jack Harlow just released...
The fact that Jack Harlow said, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga. Boy,
you're not going to let this one slide at all.
Hey, Kentucky, my nigga.
About Monica, no, my nigga, period. This is an artist to make money, stay on the side, stop trying. No, they gonna continue, bro. They're gonna continue, and I see why though, because it's making money. It's making money. So like picture if you can be part of something that's so big, so special that the world wants to be a part of it. Everybody in the world wants to be a part of it, and we let you in the door. You feel me? We let you to the cookout, and we feed you at the cookout that can't nobody else come to. It's mandatory. You're gonna do
Jack
stuff
Harlow
like
is
this.
the definition of you give a white boy an inch, that nigga take a journey. Like, bro, come on, bro. What you mean you got blacker? Like, what is we, bro? Nigga. We in March, twin. Like, the nigga, like, you see how niggas be waiting? Nigga waited till March to say this dumb ass shit. Like, bro, what is we doing, bro? Niggas is frying this nigga on the fucking Twitter, calling this nigga Neo. I can't even say that shit because they call that nigga Neo Soul Otzi. You know what I'm saying? Like, them niggas is tripping on him, but at the same time, like, bro, you did this to yourself, bro. Like, bro, y'all niggas, we be letting y'all come in and rap. Do this and that. If you hard, you can stay. No problem with it. But if you go Post Malone route, we already know what you're here for. You want to rap, and you're going to start disrespecting it like rap ain't all that. Then you're going to start making country boy music. Then you're going to say, I got blacker. Like, what are we doing, my nigga? Like, come on, bro. Like, it just gets to a point with these niggas, bro. Like, the obsession is just to a high-ass rate. Like, what are we doing, bro? You got blacker.
Bro, he keep on saying what he named the album, though. My nigga, what are you doing, my nigga? He's like, that's why I named the album that, because I knew people was going to be saying, what are you doing, Monica? What are you doing?
Like, come on, bro. Like, nigga, just say you like was practicing your flows, like you was studying. Like, come on, bro. What is we doing? Nigga think he common. Nigga, you fucking Jack Harlow. What are you doing? I'm not gonna lie, Jack Harlow.
I'm saying you didn't retreat into a whiter genre. In fact, you arguably went deeper into
I got blacker.
Black music.
Yeah.
Deeper into black.
And for the record, I ain't like Jack Harlow since he messed up that Glamorous song. I remember how excited I was for that song to come out, because at the time I thought he was a cool little white boy. So I heard the little snippet. I was like, yes, immediately downloaded it. Get in my car, play it the next day. This is boo-boo trash garbage. Even my flat iron didn't like it. So you get what I'm saying? I wasn't really feeling it, and ever since then I've been off him. Now I want who told him that he had got blacker to come to the front. Come here, because I just want to talk to you for a second. Who told you that? Who said that, Jack? Here's my issue with Jack Harlow and people like him.
Who told you?
I actually don't mind white people in our black spaces. You just need to have appreciation, respect, and shut up and be a white person in a black space. I don't need you to be a white person that's a little black. No, be a white person in a black space, because that's what you are. All this, I got blacker, no. And then when the interview started and they asked you that question about, is it true or false that white artists have more freedom to experiment with their sound than black artists? I got to think about it. Wrong answer. And that's why you got kicked out. Wrong answer. First of all, typically, when the questions start like that, true. That's the answer. We're always at a disadvantage. That's always the answer. So the fact that you had to think about that, but you exist in our spaces, is the reason why we don't want you over here no more. Tell Justin Bieber to drop an R&B album. That's all I'm interested in, period. And for the record, I ain't like Jack Harlow since he messed up that.
Well, there's a few reasons why it's a problem. One, the state of R&B isn't the way that it is right now because it's not being funded. People like Tank and Jay Valentine have been talking about this for a minute. And we see with a well-funded, well-marketed, pushed R&B artist, you can get somebody like a Leon Thomas, or you get somebody like Kalani when she had her breakout hit with Folded last year. There are great R&B acts that are just not being pushed. Leon Thomas, Leon Bridges, Yumi, Cleo Soul, Lucky Day, Sir. The list goes on, and they're dropping consistent great projects all the time. Like one of my favorite albums of any genre from last year is 320. I just clicked on them randomly. I had no idea who they were.
Yeah,
and
they all did.
That album is amazing.
A lot of them did.
I am still listening to it on repeat, and it's been about 3 or 4 months since it originally dropped at the end of last year. That album is great, and it's not getting the attention that it should. So the state of R&B is that we have great R&B, but it's not being pushed, it's not being funded. And then you get somebody like Jack Harlow who makes bland, mediocre ass music. That is just another example of white mediocrity being treated and put on a pedestal like it's extraordinary. And people are tired of it. We've seen this play over and over again. Dude didn't even know who Brandy was a couple years ago. And you really want me to expect that you were so invested and so tapped in to this musical genre from the same era that she was in her prime. This is obviously put on. This is obviously fake. This is obviously inauthentic because you flopped 3 times as a rap artist. So now you're trying to make a pivot, but you don't want to do the obvious thing, which is to go into pop, rock, or whatever. So you basically do a soft launch into it because, you know, R&B for somebody like him is just like Justin Bieber. It's just a hop and a skip away from pop music anyway. So he can make the transition and it doesn't seem so disingenuous. You change up your whole aesthetic. You taking press photos with a black girl. You doing skits with some black dudes, and they saying, "Hey, we can't see you with a white woman either." Like, it's just all put upon. It's all corny just for you to put out this album, and it's just 9 tracks of bland diet John B. I'm good. Listen to all the other R&B artists. The fact that
That's crazy.
This would be somebody's first time
B.
listening to a neo soul album, and it's from Jack Harlow. It shouldn't sit right.
I'm saying you didn't retreat.
I don't.
And see, I was iffy about him when he was.
We already seen that one.
Oh, I got blacker. No, don't try to get upset now. Not your busy, easy white chocolate. I blame y'all for how Jack Harlow's outside doing this stuff. Oh, Exhibit A.
You arguably went deeper into
I got blacker.
Black music.
Yeah.
Deeper into blackness.
Yeah.
So
when you let people cosplay, this is what transpires. You cannot be mad. You cannot.
That's
be
why
mad
they like, nah, no more
The
cosplay.
environment that y'all wanted, right? These folks, they come in to music, putting.
Yeah, I'm yeah, man. I'm about to end it right there. I just can't. You feel me? It's like over and over again. They gonna prove. They gonna do something. They gonna do something over and over again. It's not gonna change. It's gonna always be this. It's like every time they gonna prove us right every time. But you know, it's cool. I understand now. We've been had the memo and the message. You feel me? We wrote it down. It's on all our refrigerators. So when we wake up, we see it. It's on our phones. When we wake up in the morning and we unlock our phone, we've been got it. You feel me? Period. But on that note, I'm gonna be out of here. You know, if I find something else, look, I'm gonna be right back. Don't even trip. If I see I think somebody hitting me with something right now. So I know he gonna hit me with something, and I'm gonna be right back. I think it's something about. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Let me see what Cuddy was talking about. Saint the Sinner is roasting fresh and fit right now. That's the hot topic. Wait, hold on. Wait, fresh and fit is the one dude. The one Arab dude, right? The one Indian dude, if I ain't mistaken. I don't know. I don't be paying attention to them people shit. I ain't gonna lie. I never really watch people's stuff that speak on like art issues. I never could see a person that wasn't us speaking on our stuff. I never could get into even listening to it. That's just me. You feel me? And when they're speaking on our issues, I can't be. How am I gonna subscribe to you when you don't even live in where I live at? You feel me? Even I ain't even gonna lie. Some of the rich people that be trying to speak on hood shit, I don't even listen to them because I go, how they can't even come where I'll be at. You can't even walk like me. I don't care. I walk through any hood in California, with no problem. You feel me? With no problem. With no problem. Okay, yeah, except that one time we went to 60s hood. But that was different. It was like 50 Crips out there. And I had on red. You feel me? And I said, I ain't going over there. Passed that shit up. My cousin said, no, man, and my homie, stop. Hey, I act like I was looking for something. I kept driving. I passed that shit smooth up. Hey, we got past it. This nigga gonna say, hey, no, turn back around. You can just go right here and make a U-turn and go back around. I said, no, bruh. We going over there to the store by your house. I'm not going to that store, bro. I'm not going to that store. You got me. That's what I'm not doing. Them is LA Crips is different. You feel me? We talk about 60s. I said, bro, I ain't taking no chances. I ain't even no Damu. I ain't no blood or nothing, but I'm not pulling up. And I don't care if I had a little red stripe on my shoes. It's like, no, bro, I'm pulling. You feel me? Anywhere else, though, I would have hopped out. But, I said, nah, not today. Not today. Hey, it was a couple of places I went to where I was like, I'm not hopping out. But I had to. My cousin, he was the president for the Compton Deuces, the motorcycle club, and we went there. I said, dang, bro, I went up in there. I was like, I was the only one had on a touch of red. I said, I thought this was a motorcycle club. It was all Crips. It was Crip walking to the music and shit, and they was looking at me. And luckily, he was the president. He like, man, this is my cousin. When he said that, everybody was cool with me. But at first, I was, I ain't no punk and shit. You feel me? But I was a little spooked because I had on red. But I was like, you feel me? Whew. Luckily, I was with my cousin. You know, thank you. But on that note, I'm about to go see what this do, and then I'm gonna try to come right back. So, man, salute to all. Thank y'all for stopping by. Make sure you hit that like button, and we always got to end it with a little comedy. You feel me? I don't want you to run up out of here and be angry at the world, because the shit these people be doing be having you mad as a motherfucker. I get it. I understand. But peace out. Peace and love.